Hello and welcome to Flying Bobbins. I'm Liz and today I want to talk to you about next month in the Sew Along Club because we're going to be doing something really exciting. We are going to be sewing swimwear. So we will have in the Sew Along Club next month a whole month dedicated towards helping you make your perfect swimsuit. If you're already in the Sew Along Club, you will get access to the full Sew Along tutorial on the 1st of July. If you're not already a member, then please do join now so that you don't miss out. The pre-orders for Swimwear Kits open today, the 10th of June, so hop online and order your kit. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you or talking you through the patterns that I'm going to feature and then doing a fabric show and tell for the beautiful swimwear fabrics that I'll be stocking. If you have already got your swimwear pattern, then of course you can just buy the fabrics. I will also have a range of trims on sale, and then I have a choice of 3 different patterns. So let's talk about my first pattern that I'll be featuring in next month's Sew Along, and this is the Cotlow swimming suit by Megan Nielsen. I've chosen to feature this swimming costume as the Sew Along for the next month's Sew Along Club project, just because it's a really nice, easy beginner swimming costume pattern. So there are no fiddly details, it's beautifully designed, the proportions are great, the fit is good. It's well tried and tested, a very popular pattern, and the instructions are really nice and easy to follow with lots of thorough instructions and tips included. So I really do like this pattern and I recommend it if you are new to sewing swimwear. Maybe you're finding the idea of making your own swimming costume a little bit daunting. This is a really nice beginner friendly pattern. And of course it is fairly plain, but that means that you can then use that as a basic block to adapt and create your own swimming costume styles. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that later on in the video. Okay, so the Cotlow pattern features a scoop front, and then at the back you can either have a high scoop or a lower scoop with tie details at the back to give it that extra detail. The pattern is designed to be fully lined, and it also features an optional interior shelf for extra bust support. And then on top of that, you can also insert some pre-formed swimwear bust cups to help with modesty and shape. The pattern runs from a size 0 up to a size 20, and that equates to a bust measurement of 81 centimetres or 32 inches, up to a bust measurement of 117 centimetres or 46 inches. So a nice comprehensive size range there. You also get with that pattern the option of a classic or high-waisted bikini. I'll be featuring the swimming costume in my sew along, but of course it's great that you also get that bikini pattern too. And once you've learnt the techniques about how to measure and cut out your swimwear fabric, how to handle your fabric and your lining fabric, how to apply the elastic, how to do the stitching, everything like this. Once you've learnt all of these techniques through the sew along, of course you can then apply those same techniques and processes to making the bikini, so you get those lovely different options of pattern included. Now I've already been playing around with some pattern adaptations for the Cotlow. Like I say, it's a lovely plain pattern, which means that you can really achieve different looks with it. So I'm going to talk you through some of those now. So if you find that pattern is a little bit plain for you and you want to jazz it up, then here are some ideas. And these are quite achievable no matter what your level of sewing expertise is. So first of all, I have made this one here. Let's show you that. So all I did with this is I simply attach a little bow at the shoulder seam. So the shoulder seams are still functional, but this bow sits on top and gives the illusion of a tie shoulder. And then you have some sweetheart gathers at the centre front there. So I haven't actually adapted the pattern at all, I've just used the pattern as it was. And then I've made these very easy adaptations just by adding a little bit of ruching at the centre front and the ties at the top. And that's using the red, plain red swimwear jersey that I stock in my shop there. It's a really nice shade. So that's idea number 1. Okay, so idea number 2, I have featured on this black swimwear jersey, and if I zoom in you can see that a bit more clearly. I have added a belt detail to it. So this is a 20mm wide elastic, 4cm wide elastic, which I have covered in the swimwear jersey. I've added stitching here, and then I've put on this lovely faux horn shiny buckle. So this gives a nice kind of retro vintage feel to this swimming costume. And what I do is I just simply attach that at the side seams, and then I sew the spec of the swimwear as I would normally do so, and then this creates the false illusion of a belt detail just at the front, just to add and break up that plain front. If you're using a plain swimwear colour, plain fabric without a print, it really is quite a nice detail, quite a nice retro sporty vibe going on there. Lastly, I've made this amazing ruche side version. So with this, I actually slashed and splayed the pattern out and then gathered it back in there just to create those gathers going into the side seam. And as you can see, this increases a little bit the amount of fabric that you will have across your tummy area. So if you feel like the Cotlow swimming costume pattern is a little plain and unforgiving across the tummy area, just because there's no additional details, and if you're making it in a plain colour, why not think about adding a little bit of ruching or something like this to it? And that does, that does require a little bit of pattern manipulation, but I will talk you through this in my sew along. So in my sew along for the Cotlow pattern, I will be talking through all 3 of those adaptations that are really easy to do. So you could either start by making your plain swimming costume, and then once you feel confident, you could try one of those variations, or if you're a bit more confident sewer, you could jump straight in to one of those alterations to that lovely swimming pattern there. As well as the Cotlow pattern, I should also be featuring the Jali one-piece swimming costume. Now this is definitely a step up in technical difficulty, so I would only recommend this if you are a little bit more experienced, and especially if you have experience sewing with stretch fabrics. This pattern here is great, and things I love about it are, number one, it has adjustable straps, so you get that little bit of extra forgiveness when you're cutting out your pattern, because you can adjust those straps so that you can make the fit really nice. Number 2, you have these 2 gorgeous styles, one with a twist front and one with a sweetheart style with an underbust band. This gives you so many options for styling, because you can actually do the bust and the body area, even on the twist front style, in 2 different fabrics. So I like the idea of mixing, as they have done here, with the print and the plain. So you could do a printed bust with the plain body, which is very flattering and slimming. You also have a choice at the back of either a plain back or a keyhole back. So again, this takes it up another level of difficulty. But if you're feeling confident and adventurous, then of course you can give the bra style back with the keyhole a try as well. The other great thing about this pattern is that it comes in a huge size range. So in fact, you can make this pattern for children. This goes from an age 2 up to an age 13 in the children's wear range of sizes. And then for adults, this goes from a size 4 up to a size 22, and that is a 33-inch or 84cm bust up to a 50-inch or 127cm bust. So you get tons of sizes included in this. The only thing I would say about the Jali patterns, especially considering the number of sizes that they include, is that when you open up that pattern paper, you will see every single size printed on top of each other. So if you get daunted easily by cutting out, then just bear that in mind. You do have to have your wits about you when cutting out, because you've got so many sizes printed all on the one pattern. The other thing I would say is the instructions for the Jali swimming costume are not in a separate booklet, they are printed on the pattern paper itself. So it's a good idea to open your pattern and cut those out if you want to have a read through them first. You don't get a separate pattern booklet, it's printed on the main pattern itself. But for a more confident sewer or someone wanting to really learn new skills and push themselves, I would definitely say it's a great pattern to try. This is my version of that pattern there, which I have made in the UV40 swimwear fabric that I'll be stocking, and I'm going to show you that fabric in a minute. So this came out really well. It's got lovely preformed bust cups inserted here. I've got the twist detail. I decided to make it all in the print. I fully lined it. The pattern itself only calls for the front of the swim costume to be lined, but I like to have the full lining. So I will, within the full tutorial, I'm going to sew through the Cotlow pattern so that it's more accessible for everybody to follow, but I will do a bit of a tips and techniques and a deep dive into how I made this swimming costume and all of the advice I would give you if you're making this. In particular, I've got lots of tips how to get these straps looking really nice and even with their little trims there. I've got lots of advice on that. I tried about 7 different strap variations before I found the perfect even look, and I prefer a wider strap actually. I find that more secure and flattering, especially for a bigger bust. So that is how the twist one came out. The third pattern I will be stocking is the Corally swimming costume pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. As always, it's a very brilliantly put together pattern, very, very thorough with excellent instructions. I would say that you have lots of variations of this swimming costume within the pattern. So here's the pattern here, the Corally. Now you can either make, if you look at the back of the pattern envelope, you can either make a plain swimming costume or a swimming costume with the frill detail like I did, or you can also make a bikini with a frill or a plain bikini. So given that you've got all of those details in that pattern, you have a fantastic amount of different variations and options that you can sew. Again, this is a step up in technical difficulty versus the plainer Megan Nielsen Cotlow pattern. So I must admit, getting this frill on was a labour of love because it's such a big pattern piece, but the end effect is absolutely stunning. So if you have the patience of not quite a saint but a near saint, then you can also try this one. And of course you could make it plain without that frill as well. And Tilly and the Buttons offer the most fantastic sew along. If you wanted some hand holding through making that one, you can actually go onto their website and get their sew along, video sew along for the Corally pattern. Now this comes in a size UK 6 up to UK 34, so an incredibly inclusive size range as always, and that is a bust measurement of 76 centimetres or 30 inches up to a bust measurement of 152.5 centimetres or 60 inches. You've got a lovely big size range there, and you've got loads and loads of different styling variations that you can play with. And once again, this also features an optional interior shelf for added support, which you can then sew bust cups into. And I've made this one here in my plain black swimwear fabric with the power mesh swimwear lining as well. So as you can see, next month you really do have a great choice of patterns and options to choose from. So all of those patterns will be available to buy from the website starting tomorrow, the 10th of June. And of course, if you are on the Sew Along Club, you get 10% off of your patterns. I'll put details in the description below of how to join the Sew Along Club so that you will be in time to pre-order your kit ready for the full video sew along, which will launch on the 1st of July. So without further ado, let's take a look at the fabrics that I will be featuring this month because they are so nice and I'm so excited to show them to you. Today I have 4 printed swimwear fabrics I'd like to show you. These are all specialist swimwear fabrics, so they are designed specifically for swimwear. You could also use them for athletic clothing such as leggings, for example. So you can use these for other items as well, but they really have been designed with swimwear in mind. They've got this lovely soft kind of matte surface. They're not really super shiny, but they've got that kind of luxury swimwear feel to them. Really ultra stretchy. Of course, for swimwear you do need tons of stretch both across and along the body. These have a high lycra elastane content, perfect for swimwear. So this is called Julissa, and it's a beautiful teal background with a pink and ochre flower. And this fabric also features a protective UV filter coating. So it has a UV40, not UB40. Okay, so this has a UV40, not UB40 coating, which means that it shields you a little from the sun and gives you some of that extra protection that you might need if you are on the beach or by the pool. So that is the Julissa, and that would just look so lovely in any of those swim costume patterns that we've just looked at. Okay, so next up we have the Fizzle print. So the Julissa is great for if you like florals, and then Fizzle is more of an abstract design. It kind of reminds me of an underwater sort of abstract pattern. It's on this lovely marine blue with sky and coral and navy highlights. Would look really nice with all manner of different colour sort of sarongs or cover-ups. It's a really nice pattern, a really nice scale, very flattering and quite sporty, I suppose, in its look as well. So if you were going to make like a little pair of yoga leggings or something like that, it would look really nice for that as well. But yeah, this is a really, really gorgeous fabric. I absolutely love it. And that, again, high elastane content, great four-way stretch and UV 40 coating. Next up we have our more kind of tropical vibe. So this is a lovely sort of dark based tropical print, and this is my favourite. This is what I made that twist front swimming costume in. So you have all these beautiful kind of layered tropical leaf shapes in maroon, ochre, coral, pale blue, khaki, a lovely, lovely kind of semi-pastel or kind of ombre pastel colour palette. On a dark charcoal, very dark charcoal to black ground. So very, very pretty, that one there. These are all the same base, same ultra stretchy feeling to them. And then last of all, I do love this one as well actually. This is called Fauve, and this is your amazing animal print. So really on trend, super modern, very lovely colour there, it's like a dark chartreusey ochre colour with black and maroon leopard print. So really, really great pattern on that one as well. So those are my 4 printed fabrics, and all of those 4 fabrics will feature in my swimming costume kits. So in your kit you get your fabric, you get your mesh lining. So this power mesh here, which is ultra, ultra, ultra stretchy, really good stretch and recovery. And in this sort of sand colour, which means that it won't interfere too much with the registration of the colour on those different prints. So in your kit, you will get your lining, your fabric of choice. I will also be including special swimwear elastic, which is salt and chlorine resistant. You'll get 2 packs of that. You will get Gutermann Maraflex thread, which has got a degree of stretch in it. So that's great for these kind of garments. And then also your stretch needles as well. And then if you want, you can choose to add some bust cups. So the kits are really specialised towards a successful swimwear project and include everything you need. I have additional trims and accessories on my website as well. So once you join the members Sew Along Club, you will be able to access the Sew Along Club kits, the secret part of my website that only club members can access, and you can see the full range of swimwear products there throughout the month of June to pre-order, so that you can order anything you want, whether you want to order a kit for the Cotlow pattern, or whether you want to choose your own swimwear pattern and then get the bits and pieces you need, and then follow the sew along to learn those swimwear specialist skills, so that whichever pattern you choose, you can have a really great outcome for your swimwear project. So I can't wait to see how you will get on, what you will choose, and I'll get cutting those kits as soon as you start placing your orders, and they'll be with you ready for our sew along on the 1st of July. If you've got any questions, as always, please do just pop them in the comments section below and I'll be happy to help. And I shall see you all in the sew along on the 1st. Bye for now.